Hey everybody, it's Mike here, and I just realized I forgot to put up the cool piece of artwork that we have. Let me throw that up there because I definitely want everybody to see what we have here, because we have a wonderful guest star tonight, and our guest star is here. I just wanted to throw this up there for you all to see this. Just give a little plug out to her as well. Tonight, our guest star is from the new Mickey Mouse Club. If any of you know. We were there. I had my IncrediCon. We did a little bit of some interviews and some behind the scenes of that when the event was going on. And yeah, I can't get the picture up now. I don't know why, but that's fine. But let's welcome, without further ado, let's welcome to the show. Oh, why is the Boglins thing coming on there? I don't know what the heck is going on. I hit the wrong button here. Uh-oh. Sorry, folks. Hold on a minute here. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties here. We don't want you to go get Boglins. Uh-oh. I'm going to end and come right back. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm like frozen here. Uh-oh. Oh, here we are now, folks. Sorry about that little technical difficulties. Without further ado, the world of technology, gotta love it. Let's welcome in to our show at IncrediChat tonight. Raquel, Rocky Herring from the Mickey Mouse Club. Welcome to the show. Prefer Rocky or Raquel? What do you want?
Either one. I answer to either one.
Excellent. Sorry for the technical difficulties. An adventure tonight, indeed. So anyways, Rocky, you are with us tonight, and you are from the Mickey Mouse Club. You're a second MMC guest, and I'm excited about this because I grew up watching you guys on the Disney Channel. Like I was a big fan of the Disney Afternoon, and my Disney Afternoon, after DuckTales and all those shows were done, it carried over to the Disney Channel, where then you guys like ended the day at 5:30 with the Mickey Mouse Club. So tell us, prior to the Mickey Mouse Club, how did you get into acting and singing? What was your pathway to this?
Oh, you're going in and out, but I think you're asking, how did I get all into this? Okay.
Yeah, is my microphone working okay? Or is it a little off right now?
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Oh, that is not good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, okay, let me hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, cool. And your sister's here watching us too. So hello to Rocky's sister.
Hey, what's up? That's my sister. This is how I got started. My cousin, or well, you know how you have those cousins. You call your cousin. They're not really your cousins, but you know how that works. Anyway, so she heard me sing one night at a party my mom was having, and she just, oh my gosh, she can sing. And she's a singer too. And she was doing pageants and things as such. And my mom listened to her, I guess, and was like, okay, well, maybe we have something. So I started singing around Miami, where I'm from. Hello, Miami. Okay. So
I just want to say, because I was going to ask you where you're from, because you have like you have this really great accent. So I was wondering.
Yeah, it comes out sometimes. I forget. So after singing around and getting some experience, she put me in the children's theater, in the Grove Children's Theater at the time, and that's where I started acting and doing more singing, doing plays and performances more in front of audiences. And then from there, just kept doing that over the years. And then, Star Search was out. And my mom was like, I'm going to get Star Search. And then I had my Star Search I sung, and I was on there. And I won 8-9 consecutive shows. And then, I was like on that whole part of the season there. And I won the final of Best Teen Vocalist and Performer. And that was the first time I made history, winning those consecutive shows and winning 2 championship titles.
Wow. And now that was, And that those star searches, those were done at the Disney Studios at that point in time too, correct?
Well, no, those were done in Los Angeles at
Oh, wow.
it's funny because now it's the Nickelodeon Theater. Well, Nickelodeon sound stage on Sunset, and what is that? I want to say, I know it's near my Kabuki on Vine. Yeah, so it was a little well, now I can't get my directions right. I want to say east of Vine, going towards downtown. There you go.
Gotcha.
Vine and Sunset. It's over that way. Yeah.
Because
I've been gone for 2 years, so I'm trying to remember my,
You're LA. Because Star Search then did come. I guess when you guys were on the Mouse Club, Star Search was like on the stage next to you guys, wasn't it?
Well, no, maybe that was later on, but during the time that it was probably later on, and then during my Mickey Mouse Club days, I don't think it was there yet because we were at the MGM Studios.
Yeah,
that's where we were. Yeah.
Got you. Now let me ask. I mean, Star Search. I'm just going to ask this because you got to meet the legendary Ed McMahon. What was that like?
It was really, it was always very professional, very just like, hi, good luck to you. And, you sometimes, I mean, I think he'd really take an interest in the people that he'd like and just like spend a little time to talk to you and get to know you. But I was on there like every week. So yeah, we were saying, hi, how you doing? See each other, hi. So yeah, it was very friendly. And wasn't a person who was standoffish,
Yeah, and certainly those kind of shows were like the precursor to like your America's Got Talent and American Idol and all that stuff that we have nowadays. And these were on like in the afternoon on like local affiliates too, and didn't have the big thing. So from Star Search, how did you get chosen to be a Musketeer? So you were from Florida, you went out to LA. Where did you because I know it was like big cattle call auditions. What was that process? How many people did you have to go through for this initial Mouse Club?
Well, you know what? I thought about that today, and it's not something that I would like normally think about, but it was because I was speaking to some other people, and I think I really don't consider what a big deal it really is to be chosen because there were I think they said like 100,000 or so kids auditioned for a spot on the show when it first came out. And I mean, to be, when you audition, well, first let me tell you how my mom found out that there was an audition, and we drove to Orlando. So we're like 4 or 5 hours away from Orlando and Miami. And then I auditioned. I think I got the call back, and then we came back to Orlando. Yeah. And so she was putting in the miles, all right. So then after that, yeah, you're being chosen for a show. You have to go through certain like a number of calls because one, they want to make sure, okay, you get the call back. You get the call back, then that's great. Well, now compared to those people that got called back, the next process is how do you fit in? How does this group look together? And then next one, how does this group look together? So it really came to me today that was a big deal, a lot for a kid to be going through, Yeah. And I was chosen as like the first little black girl Musketeer on Disney Channel's Mickey Mouse Club.
Now, and again, we talked a little bit about this prior to the show. I mean, representation is everything. We know the Mickey Mouse Club, and I definitely want to talk about the experience with the older cast when they came by, but the original Mickey Mouse Club that everybody knew initially were just really a bunch of Caucasian people, So
100%.
Absolutely. And so, did you feel any responsibility as a young person, to be like, this I'm going to represent for all the kids like me who are watching?
Well, I knew in Miami that not necessarily being a child, but just the fact that I'm a role model. And that's what my mom always reminded me in school and everywhere, because I was always singing, always in the newspapers and the news stations doing something. And it was the responsibility of knowing I'm a role model. So I must conduct myself and live a life of a role model, of a person that someone else can look at and say, oh my gosh, I would like to be like them, and look up to. And she always reminded me of that. So I didn't feel the responsibility as a person of color, but the responsibility just as a child who is a role model, who's in the public eye, and I must behave accordingly.
Gotcha. No, it totally makes sense. Now, let me just ask, going back to the audition thing. Did you, when you were auditioning, did you end up auditioning with any of the other people that did make it to the show, or were this just a whole random group?
Did not make it to the show?
No, and anybody that made it to the show, were any of them in one of the same groups? Because I know, like, when I spoke with Tasha, they said they took she said they took like about 50 or so kids and like almost had like a retreat for a week, and it was like intense dancing and acting. What was that? Was that like the same thing for you? What was that like?
Well, I don't know about that. Your mic was going out a little bit. So you said they took on like a group somewhere. What?
Yeah, she said that they took them out, and it was like an intensive of like comedy and dancing and choreography. I'm sorry. So did you go through any kind of like a boot camp, if you will?
No, we didn't boot camp. That's intense for real. No, we didn't do that. But we did have to do, our little skits and our and some. What else did we have to do? I'm having to remember back quite at least one decade ago. At least that's all I'm gonna say. So, but we all know anyway. So yeah, I don't recall our singing. We did the dancing. I think we had to do, some little comedic stuff, but I think overall they just saw the talent and was like, they were just blown away, I guess. It's so funny. They showed at the 30th year reunion. They showed some of our audition clips, and I saw an audition piece, and I'm not sure if it's a CD that I have, or because one of the producers at the time sent, I think, everyone a copy of the CD of the whole audition. And I remember Lynn was there. I think I want to know, because it would be Florida people. I do remember Lynn. I think it's a couple of other that's on that. So that was very interesting to see. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
And I just want to, couple of people, you have Sylvia Herring here, another relative, I assume.
That's my mom.
Oh, hello. Hi, Mom. Mom's here watching. Somebody did ask Ghost Rider Taylor. Ghost Rider wants to know, where can I buy your holiday CD? And I'm sorry, I fixed it. I didn't even realize. Go on the bottom here, raquelherring.com, and follow on Instagram at my Rocky. But the music is available on iTunes, Amazon, all that good stuff.
It is.
So with the Mickey Mouse Club, what was some of your favorite things to do? Did you prefer the singing and dancing? Did you like the comedy? Where did you feel your strength is? Because I mean, watching you and even talking to you now, seeing you at the reunion, meeting you, like, you have some great comedic timing. So, and I mean, you're an amazing singer when you did the song at the reunion as well. So, I mean, you kind of do it all. But where did you feel most comfortable, and what did you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed, honestly, I just enjoyed all of it. I liked it. I am a performer. I love the whole performance. Just process, you see the process together, it kind of starts out rough. You're kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? And then, you see it all come together, the costumes, the music, the vocals, the whole arrangements, the acting, everything, the makeup, it all comes together. And, whether it was just a bit of doing pigs, was fun to do. Even doing a Fifi Fink binder, she played a Coke bottle. Like, you remember those like infomercials when they sell everyone's music and they're doing so that was Fifi Fink binder. She was a whatever you call a Coca bottlist. So that's what she. And I so enjoyed those moments because they were just fun skits to do where you could just be silly and creative. And it all was good. The singing, I couldn't say there was the singing, dancing, or acting that I liked the most, because I honestly enjoyed them all.
Is it? Hey, Steven says hello too. Hello, Steven. He's watching with us. So yes, a wonderful manager indeed. Is there a particular memory or episode that really stands out to you from when you were there?
Yes. Okay. So it's funny because Lindsay and I hung out a lot when I was there. So a lot of my memories are really with Lindsay. And I remember we were not supposed to use the golf carts, you know, that was to get us from one end because we were MGM back lot of MGM studio. So, you know, they're having tours. It had just recently opened up and they're having tours. And we got on that golf cart and we were just on the tour line there. Saw the trolley or whatever coming with the tour bus. We saw them coming. So we were like, oh my gosh. And we went into this panic and we were on the Golden Girls set. Oh my God, that just shows you how long ago that was, right?
Oh my God.
So all of a sudden we're trying to get out of there so we won't get seen, so we won't get in trouble. Oh my goodness. So they only had like the frame of the house, the front of the house up. And we ran over the plants. We almost knocked the thing down. Oh my gosh. And we were in such a panic. Like, we were like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And we couldn't stop laughing. We were screaming, laughing. Like, oh, it was just such a whole thing. And I remember that moment because I stopped laughing. It was so funny to just watch us just mess this whole thing up. And when we got that golf cart back there, I don't think we ever like got on it again.
Well, and you know, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because, you know, talking to Chase and talking to Tasha, I guess everybody has their backstage. All you guys from the show have your Disney MGM Studios memories, sneaking out and doing things that, you know, again, you were kids. You were kids. You know, I would have been doing the same.
Kids. And we were allowed to be kids sometimes. Well, not at that moment, of course, but like we had a pie fight, and it was like the whole. This whole space they had rented. I looked like a warehouse, and it was just for us to eat and share. It may have been on a holiday or something, or when we were going on hiatus or something. And we just had this pie fight, and oh my gosh, that was the best! Just throwing pies at each other. It was we were so ridiculous, but it was so much fun. And the adults loved it. Oh, they loved it. It was their chance too to be kids, you know.
Well, and I mean, certainly if we're talking about adults, I mean, I assume you're probably talking about Fred Newman. Because
well, yes, absolutely. Oh, you know, he would have had pies on everybody.
I mean, because my gosh,
I jump on all of us.
Because again, just watching him and you know, other people who have known him as well. I mean, he's quite the entertaining guy too. So the sound effect.
He loves having fun. He loves laughing. I saw him recently at the last year, at the 30th reunion. It was so good to see him, and he looked great, and just full of energy, full of life as he's always been. So it was so good to see him.
Yeah, an amazing talent. I mean, everybody on that show was talented. You know, just an amazing group of people that they had on there. I mean, certainly, like, you know, you said all these people that they went through auditioning, you know, that really was worth it because as you know, like so many people came through there, and we saw it was over a year ago when you guys all reunited, like all that talent was there. You know, all that heart that you guys had on the show was there. So that was great. Talk a little bit about the interaction, because I've heard interesting stories with the audience too, because it almost was like a free for all when the audience would come dancing with you guys at the end.
Yeah, sometimes they would have just be like, come on, and they just come on out there and dance. It was fun because, you know, I think we needed to have that interaction with kids our age as well. You know, so it was fun for them to come out and just hang out and just dance. I mean, you know, just dance is fun to do. Just dance, you know.
Now let me ask. You grew up in Florida, in Miami, right? A few hours away from Disney. What was it like being on TV and going back to school? What was that like? I asked as an educator, you know, knowing young people, like again, and this whole role model thing you were talking about. How was that?
Well, when I went back, I I think I acclimated pretty easily. I went to private school,
Okay.
and so yeah, and so the discipline there is going to be a little different. So a lot different. So
Sure.
it was easy to
Mhm.
get involved. I never a point I think that my mom, well, she wasn't gonna let me feel like a star nowhere, so I ain't have no problems. I ain't had no problems assimilating, getting back into the thing. So, I was in school and then I was at Disney and I was back in school again. So it was just like that.
Yeah.
She never made it where it was never a problem to get back with kids and get back into the school thing. I mean, because
Yeah.
we had school there too. And they
Yeah.
tried to they worked it out where I guess a lot of people went to Dr. Phillips High
Mhm.
School. I stayed active in my own school in my for to stay active for when I would have to go back, or if I needed to go back or graduate from a school there. So that's how I think my mom wanted it planned.
Yeah, no, and I think that's really great, and the fact, you know, a lot of young people who I've talked to in the arts, you know, like behind all those stories is a great parent. So I know your mom's
Yeah.
watching right now, and it sounds like she really guided you well in that. I mean, certainly for young people
Yes.
nowadays, you know, with the way
Yes.
the internet is, if you're on TV, my gosh, you lose all privacy. You know, certainly at that time, the Disney Channel was kind of like you know, if you could afford it in your household, that's how people had it. You know, so
Right.
you were seen, but not everybody got to see you like celebrities now. You know, but
Right.
I remember
Exactly. Exactly.
I I do remember though when the Mickey Mouse Club came on. I mean, like you guys were like on the cover of like the Disney Channel magazine, and you know, like they had the Disney Christmas parade, and like you guys were on there. You know, because I mean, Disney was pushing the Mickey Mouse Club
Yeah.
as they
Yeah.
you know. So you were seen. You know,
Yeah.
so
We were able
let
to have normal lives, so that's the good thing. We're able to continue having a normal life. We were just kids that just worked at Disney, and then after that you go to school.
yeah, no,
That's
and I
that.
think and you know, strong parents keeping people grounded. I think that's really where it comes
Absolutely.
through with everything. Now I want to ask, when you left the Mickey Mouse Club, what did you go on to do when that happened? What were some of
Well,
like you
after
went back,
that,
you were in school still? You're still
yeah,
in
I went
school.
back to school, and then I got this job in New York, and I always say it was Broadway because it was on Broadway, and it was Betsy Brown that I played Betsy Brown, the lead role, and I played with Tashina Arnold and
Oh
Tisha Campbell, who were on Martin,
my gosh.
and yeah, Harold Perrineau and Donald Faison from Fluent. So I was working with a lot of people, and then
Yeah.
we went on to do it in New Jersey at a theater, and it was a play by Intozaki Shanghai. So it was about a young girl coming to um, adulthood, well, teen years, a younger, 12, entering those teen years during the time of the civil rights movement. So
Okay.
it
Nice.
was I learned a lot. So it was a good show.
Yeah. Well, now let me
And I
ask
got
you.
rave reviews.
Well, there you go. There you go. Let me ask, what was the difference doing a show in theater as opposed to being on a weekly television show like the Mickey Mouse Club or a daily TV show, however you guys
The
film it.
biggest thing with the theater is that it challenges you because it's live, right? So it challenges you to be on. It challenges your I like that it challenges your abilities. You have to stay engaged. You have to stay on. And some days were better than others. I mean, even vocally, there were days that I mean, it came to a point because the weather was always changed. It was rainy, very
Mhm.
rainy. It was cold. I wasn't used to that. And then, I mean, I couldn't really talk much, but I could say thank God.
Mhm.
So, you have to just deal with what comes naturally at you, and it makes you have to be on. And that's what I liked about it. I liked the challenge of having to be on, because in television you can do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Mm-hmm. Like, let me just go back
on up stage.
with the Mickey Mouse Club. What, was there, like you said, you do it over and over again? Was there a lot of instances where you guys did multiple takes, or did you guys, like, a lot of time get it within a couple of takes? I mean, I'm sure it varied scene to scene and dance number to dance number.
Yeah, it did. But I can remember we did Pigs In. I don't know. I was just cracking up every time Lindsay would say, "Oh, oh." I can't remember what she said, but she'd "Oh," and the way she'd do that, oh my gosh, it took us so many times because we couldn't stop laughing. We look at each other and start laughing. We try not to look at each other and we start laughing. Every time it came to that, we had to do, I don't know how many times we had to do it till we finally got one that they could use, because we couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny.
And you also had the audience full of kids who were probably cracking up while you were making things too.
Yeah, they're laughing too, because they're laughing. What's going on? We just get it right. It was hysterical.
So, do you have, like, so you talked about theater preference? Do you like live theater over television or film, or vice versa? Which is your preference?
Oh, I don't know. I just roll with it, whatever it is. I do like having the opportunity to do it over.
Yeah.
I do like that. Oh, wait, scratch that. Let's do it again. I like that.
It makes a lot of sense. But I mean, I guess with theater, there is an adrenaline, like you're saying, because you have to be on. So there is a bit of an adrenaline rush. And, unless you're working in front of a live studio audience for television, which at least with the Mickey Mouse Club, you had that ability to do, you're really reacting off of what the audience is getting from your performance, so if you're making them cry, if you're making them laugh, like you're feeling that emotion with them. So that's
absolutely. I mean, I really like both. I enjoy doing both, but like I said, I do like the opportunity. If I can do it better, do it again.
So when you were done in New York and Jersey, where did you head off to then? Were you back in New York doing some more stage work, or out to LA? Where
I'm hoping there were some opportunities, but I had to go back to school. And going back to school, that's what I pretty much did from there. And then after school, I was signed to Brother, and so I was doing a recording artist at the time. And then after that, I decided that I would move. I tried to live in New York for a while afterwards, but LA was a better place for me. I needed that sunshine. I needed trees and flowers and grass, so.
I know the pavement of New York City, absolutely.
Yes, and sun. I'd like to be able to stand in some sun sometime. I'm having to go to the park to do it. So I moved to Los Angeles, and then I was signed to Universal Records there. And that's about it after that. Then I did some film.
Well, no, and I definitely want to talk about your music, because I mean, a lot of the music that you do is really inspirational music. So let's talk a little bit about the root to that, because I mean, and even just going back to the reunion, we'll talk more about that in a minute. But Soul Sunday, like all of you guys were amazing with the whole Soul Sunday part of the reunion. But
great. You know what was so amazing about that? Because when you have your down times, you feel like you're the only one in the world who has these down times. And then when you hear that the people you look up to and you say, oh my gosh, their lives are so incredible, so great, and you hear that they too have had down times, you don't feel like this oddball, this person, everything just down upon. And it's a thing to see, triumph, over trials. And that was encouraging, not just for like those that were out there listening, but for us as well, because so many of us after the show, after adulthood had gone through some real serious things, and you just wouldn't think that was the case, but we did. And to see people come out on that other side, with their faith and everything, getting to that other side was very encouraging, so awesome to hear. And I'm so grateful that we had that Soul Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, even to this day, reading information and just thinking back to that day, like so many people, and I know you guys all took a lot away, but a lot of the people in the audience really took so much away from it, and even, thinking about the new Christmas album, the majority of the songs on there are all like inspirational holiday songs. You guys aren't singing like Jingle Bells and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Like there is some true meaning behind those songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which speaks volumes.
I'm sorry?
I said that, and that speaks volumes to who all of you are as individuals.
Yeah, because it was interesting when I caught on to songs that had been chosen. I was like, wow, that was awesome to see that people pick the inspirational songs. So yeah, I have my song on there, Angels from the Realms of Glory. And when I heard that, actually what it really was, I heard the bells on Christmas Day. And I thought that was such an awesome song, especially for the time that's happening now of, hearing those bells. Christmas Day, the Lord is waking you up to say, hello, listen, don't lose hope, don't lose faith. We're in this time, I get it, but we're going to get through it. Hang on, And when I heard that song, I knew I had to sing it. But it just wasn't working out for the album at that point. So I did Angels from the Realms of Glory. Had to do it in like 24 hours to get it turned in because we had spent so much time on I Heard Bells. So it was like, oh my gosh, turn it over fast, because that was like one of the only songs on the list that I actually had, because I had done it on my Christmas album before. So we moved it fast, made different arrangements. My producer did everything, and really worked out. And so we used I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day for my own personal release.
Yeah, available on iTunes and Apple iTunes and Amazon Music. So folks, go and get that too. It's great. I have.
Thank you. I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day song. I love singing it.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you can tell by listening to it. It's you do such a great job with it. So just going back to that. So when you guys made the album, they gave you like a suggested list of songs to sing, and that's how you chose whichever.
Yeah, we had a list of songs, public domain,
of course,
that we chose from. So yeah, that's how we went about that. And it was so interesting. What's so awesome about technology, doing the Why Because It's Christmas album with the Mickey Mouse Club cast, 17 of us, we did it virtually. I mean, we did it from our home or whatever and sending it in, and one person, they'll do their backgrounds or put that part in because they heard that and like, oh, well, let me put this in and put the bass. I think Tony Luca played the bass on Angels from the Realms of Glory. On my song, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, a guy from Australia, the guitar. So yeah, I mean, we were moving all over the place to get it done. So, and sending all the files to be mixed. It was just, it's such a great opportunity, one that technology provides, especially during time, because you don't have to be stuck. You can continue moving forward. Just, you have to modify, but you can move forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, the buzz that this album has been generating, like, my gosh, you guys were like, I think it was like 20, debuted at like, what, 20 or 21 on iTunes, I think it was?
21 Billboard, yeah.
And then there was the article.
It gave us an incredible opportunity for us all to come together, especially after the reunion, for us all to come together and do a project together that's special. It's something just special about Christmas, period, and do that project made it even more special. Yeah,
and then the music video too is phenomenal.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes.
How did you film that?
You like shocked, huh?
How is that filmed? Because I mean, that's more than just audio tracks. That's video and all kinds of good stuff going on. My God.
Man, like you said, that's Chase and Dale, man. They know how to put it together. Everybody recorded their parts and they just spliced it up, put it all together. It's good. It's just such a great project.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I think for a lot of the people walking away from that, you know, both folks like you who were involved in the show and then all the fans that were there to be a part of this weekend, seeing you guys on stage, you know, like, my God, that was like the best party at Epcot Center that night. Was my God, but
oh yeah,
well, geez, like, you know, but you know, like I remember leaving there thinking like, this is. And I think I said something to Rick too. I was like, you guys need to do more of these kinds of things. Even like, you know, not necessarily do a repeat of that, because I don't think the magic of that weekend can be recreated, you know, especially with all going on in the world now. But there was magic there, you know, and Mickey coming out, you know, and you walked Mickey out.
I was like, what? You guys are gonna have me walk Mickey out? I was like, oh my God, I was on top of the world, okay? This is Mickey Mouse.
How did you get chosen? Just curious.
I don't know. It was just, you know, maybe God whispered in their ears and have her walk Mickey out. I don't know. But I was so honored. Let me tell you, I never had the opportunity to like really meet Mickey Mouse in the first place, okay? When I was at the Mickey Mouse Club, I didn't meet no Mickey Mouse, okay? So to have this opportunity to ride in the car with Mickey Mouse on the parade, okay? And then to be able to, Minnie Mouse too, let me not forget, they were so, you know what? I see why people love the mouse. I see why. He was so sweet, so warm. Both of them were just, oh my gosh. I see why people love them. And to be able to walk him out and just hang out there, he's like, hey. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's talking to me. This is amazing.
But it's the magic of Disney. That's what it is. You know, but I mean, again, that week, that night, I remember we were just walking, I'm sure you guys all too, just walking into that place at Epcot. They had the sets up from the show, you know, the big stage, like, and I know when I spoke with Chase long ago about it, you know, like that. And I know, and everybody afterwards, like, that was not what the plan was. Like, I think
that wasn't?
I think it grew from what I understood. Like, cause I think when MegaCon got involved, and, you know, yeah. And I mean, because
it started off just, we were going to just like kind of, I think he had contacted me like a year before. Well, maybe not a year before, but like it happened in May. So maybe I was still in LA at the time. I hadn't even moved yet, and he reached out to me and said, yeah, we're going to do this get together. So it kind of started like a get together. And then it just kept growing and growing and like, I did not anticipate it being like it was when we got there. It was really amazing. They put something so special together after 30 years for it to be put together so well. It was just so special, spectacular. Everything about it was wonderful.
Yeah, well, just like I was showing you before, like, and for folks at home, like and I know you probably got one. Obviously, I hope you got one, Rocky. Yes. But that's, I mean, like this essentially this yearbook that they put together of everybody, you know. And I mean, it's like oh, there you are. Oh, and you signed it for me.
Look at that.
You signed it for me. Well, yeah, no, I mean, like again, a truly memorable weekend. You know, between, you know, the performances that you did, like when you sang "Missed You Like Crazy," that was amazing. You know, your song that you did. And I think I have video. I took some video on I have my digital camera there, so I had taken some video, so I still have that. But that was amazing. I know it's go look it up on YouTube. It's all over YouTube. Many people videoed that. But again, Mickey, the confetti and like the little fireworks that came out. Like that must have been crazy too. You're on there when all this stuff happened, and then everybody went out.
Yeah.
Everybody went outside for the big fire, the illuminations, and came back in. It was like, what the heck's going on? It was incredible. But like, it was something definitely like magical in a bottle that they had created that. And like you walked away from that feeling really positive.
Absolutely.
And I mean, now seeing that, as I know they did an event out in California. Was it like last January or February, right? It was a small event. They were a part of another thing prior to the pandemic beginning.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near what they had done the year before. But like now seeing this Christmas album, like there's so much talent amongst all of you. Like one thing I was like even thinking is like, you guys should go. And again, obviously, who knows what's going to happen now, but you guys take it on the road and almost do, a traveling show, and everybody brings whatever it is. Everybody brings their game to the show, and it's singing, singing your own songs, things like that. I mean, like I think there's a huge market for something like that, and obviously not everybody's going to be available because everybody's grown. Everybody's got families and real life going on, but switch out the cast as you switch out the cast city by city. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
I think they're working on it. Like you said, it's definitely a market for it. And I think after the event, I think it became clear that there is a market for it, and that people will love to see it.
Absolutely. Like when you got there, what were you expecting? Chase reached out to you, said, "Hey, we're doing this reunion," and then you got there. Like you were saying, the parade at Disney World, you got to see all these folks, Fred, and people from the entire span of the show. Like, what was that like for you to walk in there? Go back to Disney and see what that was like.
Wow, it was incredible. Just like, wow, so long ago. Like I kind of started here, and it was an amazing time, particularly just seeing everyone and meeting the people I didn't have a chance to work with, and all the ones I did, and keeping, even trying to stay connected, even if it's just through Facebook or whatever. Just it was incredible. You got tear many times. It was a tear jerker because it brought back a lot of memories. I remember when I saw Brandy, like when I saw her come around the corner with her family, like I didn't even recognize her at first. And she's like, "Hey, Raquel, Rocky," and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's like, "It's me, Brandy," and I'm like, "Who?" She just looked so like a kid, and I'm like, I'm looking at her children, and they're like 6 feet tall, and I'm looking at her husband. I'm like, wait a second, I don't even know what's going on here. I'm not able to. It was amazing because everyone has grown and they have families and these children, and I'm like, wow, how amazing is this? And I guess a lot of people go through this on their shows, but to experience that from a show that was popular, that people loved, and to see like these are castmates that I get to see again 30 years later, like, wow, amazing.
Yeah. No. And again, you and I were talking about this prior to coming on, like, while this was going on, you guys knew you had these fans, but you did not know you had these fans that you still to this day.
We did not know. Yeah, we did not. We weren't able to get our fan letters, and that we said that because a lot of people were like, "Oh, now I know why I didn't receive anything."
You guys weren't allowed to get fan letters.
No.
Really?
Maybe a few every now and then, but no, we weren't allowed to get that. Yeah, so we never really knew we didn't know what was going on out there. We didn't know that people loved us this much. Yeah. So when we had the opportunity to experience the love from fans, people who watched this show and followed us through the years, I mean, you can't help but, begin to tear up, because you just didn't know how loved you were. It's nice to know how loved you are.
Wow.
And we finally realized, we finally knew that we really were loved. We were loved out there.
Wow. No, that is like so powerful. Like I like I didn't even know that. I didn't know you guys didn't get your fan letters. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like quite a gift then when you met all these fans. Because I mean, there are some diehard Mickey Mouse Club fans out there, which is great. Like, like I like when I talked to Chase initially and he told me that this was something that was happening, I was like, I'm definitely gonna go. I was like, I would love to go and see this. Like, it's worth the money, Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know it was diehard fans. I didn't know that. I was just so taken back by the love we received. I really was. I even just thinking about it at this moment, I mean, it really makes me tear up. We did not know we were so loved.
Mm. Wow. Now, did
Yeah.
you keep any mementos from the show? Like you have your jacket still, and
I don't. I wish I had gotten that jacket. I didn't get my jacket. What do I have from the show? I have mostly pictures.
Mhm.
I have a lot of pictures from the show. That's what I have most of them. Like I have a few other things I can't remember at the time, but I have a few other little memorabilia. But mostly it's the pictures.
Gotcha.
And thank God it's pictures that most people don't have. So when I put them up, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I remember that." So that's a good thing.
I'll say that you have true collector's items in that case, and of course you have all the great memories that came from it too. I
Yes,
mean,
absolutely.
So, outside of the Christmas album and the "Heard the Bells on Christmas Day" song, what else are you working on now? Like, I know you said you were working on a book. I know you do like a live theater show once that regains. So, tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing, or will be doing.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Well, yes, I am working on this book. I've been working on it for quite a minute. It goes in phases. So let me tell you, I thought this book thing would be so much, you get it down, you get it out. It is not that easy. No one's writing my book. So it is not as easy as some people, when you can get someone to write it. Yeah, it's taking some work and it takes time because you really want to get your story out there. You really want to, my book to inspire people and to tell them about the different challenges, those trials in my life and getting through them. And I pray that it will help other people who may have had the same experiences that I have had. And so that's what I work on. And off that book I have a play that's called the oh my gosh, now I can't even remember my own show name. My goodness. Steve, help me.
Uh-oh.
I
do have your web.
It's called The Journey. It's a journey of the Musketeer something. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Let me look on my website.
I know, I'm on your website now too. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, this is terrible. I'm gonna forget. I realize with each interview, I forget something significant each time. So it must be the incredible journey of a Musketeer. I think that Lord help me, please. So yes, the incredible journey of a Musketeer. Anyway, it was an incredible journey of a Musketeer. This whole life of being here at the Mickey Mouse Club and moving on through life and all those things. So I talk about that. I talk about it. I share a lot of myself. And yes, the incredible journey of a tear. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Steve. Yes, the incredible journey of a tear. That is my one-woman show. I enjoy doing it. It's so much fun. I take people on this journey through my life and through the shows and the opportunities and those hurtful parts and those warm parts. And yeah, people go through a little journey of laughter and tears, and I've gotten some incredible reviews about it.
Nice.
I mean, people would even call here and say, "Oh my gosh, I so enjoyed your show. I loved it. I love people reach out to me online." So I'm grateful to be able to share my life and to be transparent with people, that they would have something to like really say, "I really enjoyed that. I loved it. I can't wait to see it again." So yeah. Nice. So I'm gonna do it. We're planning on filming it. So,
Oh,
while we're still under the COVID, and then to film it and put it out that way
nice.
until I can get back on the stage.
And your sister, right? This is your sister? Yes.
Yes.
She says it was a show to
I was a
remember.
show to remember. Thank you. Thank you, my sister Rochella. Oh, she's going to be mad at me that I said it that way.
Uh-oh.
Miss Shelley is what she's called, so.
But when you were doing it, how many cities had you had performed it prior to the whole pandemic thing starting? How many places have you been performing it? One. Oh, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you up in New York. We got to get you up here in New York.
Thank you, because we were setting up. We were setting up to get this on the road, and then COVID came, and that's it. Just like it stopped everything. So, yeah, I would love to come there and do it.
Yeah,
it's a fun show.
There are some possibilities. We'll definitely get that happening. And then music-wise, after we are done with the Christmas holidays, what's next musically for you?
Well, my manager has been talking about doing another album.
Okay.
So that we should probably get on top of that. So, yeah, I think so. It's a lot going on. So, yeah, we'll probably be on top of it. We'll be on top of that.
No.
New music coming. But we have a lot of things coming. We have the show coming. We have the book coming. We have music that I have recorded in the past, demos and almost close to being mastered, to really release some really good songs that I had when I was with the record labels. And we're going to put those out as well. Let people hear what was going on back then, what I was doing during those years. We have a lot of stuff in store coming out. Mm-hmm.
No, and a lot of inspirational stuff from what I can tell too, which is
for sure.
And again, like what people need at this time is that kind of stuff,
Yes,
now, let me just ask, because I know one of the things, like I shared with you, I work in education, and part of why we do this also is to inspire up and coming young people who are artists and things. What would be one piece of advice you might want to give, like if someone's watching this, is interested in music or acting, and they're like your age when you started, what would you tell them to do? What would be some advice that you could give?
Work hard. I mean, follow your heart. I know that's what everyone tells me all the time too. Follow your heart. So you have a talent, you have a gift, you want to cultivate it, you want to nurture it, and you want to be able to share it with the world, and follow your heart. I mean, that's the best thing that I can say. I'm doing it too. I'm following my heart, and I'm continuing to do that regardless of the trials and different things that come in. It takes work, and sometimes it's hurtful, but sometimes it's so magical, and that's the parts you hold on to. That's what gets you to keep moving forward, because it's really nothing like being on that stage and that people, like you had said earlier, that energy and giving yourself to people, and they're giving themselves to you, and you're exchanging this it's an exchange of excitement, of laughter, of tears, and nothing like that. And I would just tell the kids, you can do it. You honestly can. It's happening every day. Why not you? You can do it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, going back to your experience on the Mickey Mouse Club and even everything that you've done since, like you said, you're giving that out there, and you don't know who you're touching. And certainly, like you got to see it like a year ago, all these people that you had no idea that you touch, and you get the messages and everything from people now and telling you those stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I guess, and that's
they were touched. You hear how they were so touched by the show, by the cast, sometimes personally, how they were just touched, by, a lot of people talk about the song, I Miss You Like Crazy. That's a song that I sung after my dad passed away while I was on the show. And, a kid that young, and like, sometimes I look today and I'm like, those are experiences with my dad I'll never have, and to be able to with that at that time and sing that song, and to hear how appreciative people were and are of that moment of just connecting and experiencing that with me. It was really incredible. Again, another tearjerker. You know, it makes you cry because again, you realize you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and again, going back to that song, that was, I mean, great on the show. Most powerful part of that reunion, definitely. Like,
thank you so much.
You knocked it out of the park that night. That was amazing. So no, again, you know, I mean, thank you so much for joining us here on IncrediChat tonight, folks.
Thank you.
Check out RaquelHerring.com and my Roque on Instagram. You know, iTunes, Amazon. Buy the Christmas single from Roque. Buy the Christmas album. Like, keep supporting it. More stuff is
and
coming.
I have music on there too. Well, on my album, my Christian music album. You know, that's music that I do. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there's so much. So folks, go out and purchase this. You know, so support the art, support all these wonderful people, and you know, support Roque. So thank you once again. I'm just gonna hang out for a second. I'm gonna quickly let everybody know next week we have Joe Hennes from the Muppet website Tough Pigs. So tune in next week for IncrediChat, and we will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roque.